First of all, welcome to all of you who are here today, graduates and your families, our guests at Elon. This weekend officially marks your entrance into the beginning of your quarter-life crisis. But I understand a little bit of your pain today because I share with many of you graduates in this room the uneasiness of not knowing what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Also, pro tip, and a bit of a confession to make this afternoon. For the last 15 years, I have actually been the backup graduation speaker at Elon. We prepare very well, so we have contingencies and everything's ready to go, and backup speaker was one of them. So for the last 15 years, what this means is that I would prepare a speech to give in case something happened to our speaker. And I would bring it with me so that if I had to, I could heroically hop up on stage and save the day. I would be prepared. This is the case tomorrow as well. So if something goes horribly wrong and President Lambert can't make it, and here's where the confession part comes, you'll know what's coming in the speech. You can amaze your friends, by telling them what's coming next. I know what he's going to say now. So we have come to that point in the proceedings where I am supposed to say something so profound and so wise that you will look up from your phone and put away Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Tinder, swipe left, swipe right. But enough about your parents, graduates. This day is about you. Now, this is where, if we followed the script that's being followed all over bucolic settings around this country, I'm supposed to tell you, graduates, that you are our future. You are our Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are the only ones who can help. You are the only ones who can make it better. Graduates everywhere will hear that they are destined for greatness and that they will change the world. Go out and change the world. You, however, drew the short straw. You got a man with a microphone and nothing left to lose. So I'm supposed to say all of those things at this point, but I have not lied to you in 32 years at this institution, and I'm not going to do it today. Amen. I was getting a little comeback here, holla. The real truth is that you are probably graduates, and I'm sorry, you are not going to be the next Katie Couric, Lester Holt, Adina Menzel, Steve Jobs, John McCain, Barack Obama, or Leo Lambert. Right now, hundreds of thousands of graduates are preparing to take their place in the world with similar hopes and dreams of changing the world, but brute statistics work against you. Against all of us ascending to the top of our respective ladders. Now, graduates, at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, dude, you're bumming my graduation buzz. And your parents are probably thinking, I paid $200,000 for this. But the news is not all bad. Because while you may not change the world, you can let the world change you. And I don't mean let the world change you where you end up selling your soul to your ambitions one day finding yourself caught in a cesspool of indictments and broken lives. Nor do I mean letting the world change you to where it beats you down and breaks you, turning you cynical and bitter. I don't mean that. No, the change that I have in mind is something different. It is the change that happens from being attentive and present to the one person standing in front of you. For all of your life, graduates, you have been that person to us. As you glance around the room, take a moment, look around. You will notice that you are surrounded by those who love you, who have sacrificed for you, so that you could find a better future. Your parents gave of themselves to send you here. They supported you. They encouraged you when you wanted to quit. And today and tomorrow, rain or shine, your families will celebrate your life, your accomplishments, and what has brought you to this point. Also in this room are faculty and staff who embraced you from the moment you took that acorn out of the basket 4 years ago. What seems like both a lifetime ago and yesterday. Doesn't it? On your journey over these last few years, these people that are sitting around you, they have laughed with you, cried with you, pushed you to achieve things you never knew possible. I know many of your faculty, and I know that they have the same passion that I do to profess truths they have thoroughly investigated and found to be life-sustaining. And they are here because they have sought to pass this passion of exploration on to you. Their calling brought them to the point in their lives where they wanted to share with you the excitement of learning and exploring with you. And they wanted to awaken in you the art of wondering about the world that we are all creating. We are gathered in this space today, and we will be gathered in spaces tomorrow because our deepest hope, graduates, is that you have become awakened to something beyond the superficial and selfish aspects all too present on display in our society. However, the danger here is one that Rumi, the Sufi mystic poet, spoke of when he said, "Wake up. This world that you dream holds nothing but fear. Once you are awake, you will find others standing in front of you with claims to make on your life. And in the midst of massive political, economic, and social forces that we feel as individuals helpless to confront, you will need the courage to face the world one person at a time. Once woke, you can never go back to sleep." Now, even though we may feel so small before the vast powers that grip our world, we are not excused to turn away from human suffering and need. And this is the place where the world changes us, one person at a time. A powerful illustration of this comes from a well-worn story that is certainly the staple of motivational speakers and preachers all over the place. But listen, good stories bear the retelling. If it were not so, we would not have sacred text or 8 Star Wars movies. The story comes from Loren Eiseley, an American naturalist. He tells of his observations on the shores of Costebel, where he found himself walking the beaches every day. As a naturalist, he had come to expect that beaches are places of death and destruction as much as they are places of beauty. And one morning he spotted a lone figure off in the distance grabbing starfish and flinging them back into the ocean. And Isley writes, in a pool of sand and silt, a starfish had thrust its arms up stiffly and was holding his body away from the stifling mud. It's still alive, I ventured. Yes, he said. And with a quick yet gentle movement, he picked up the star, spun it over my head, and flung it out into the sea. It sunk into a burst of spume, and the waters roared once more. There are not many who come this far, I said, groping in a sudden embarrassment for words. Do you collect? Only like this, the man said softly, gesturing amidst the wreckage of the shore, and only for the living. He scooped again, oblivious of my curiosity, and skipped another star neatly across the water. The stars, he said, throw well. One can help them. I do not collect, I said uncomfortably, the wind beating at my garments, neither the living nor the dead. I gave it up a long time ago. Death is the only successful collector. Isley went on his way that morning, but the encounter haunted him. And after some deep reflection on life and death, he returned to the beach and he found the man. On a point of land, I found the star thrower. I spoke once, briefly. I understand, I said. Call me another thrower. Only then I allowed myself to think he is not alone any longer. After us, there will be others, perhaps far outward on the rim of space. A genuine star was similarly seized and flung. And for a moment, we cast on an infinite beach together beside an unknown hurler of suns. We had lost our way. But we had kept, some of us, the memory of the perfect circle of compassion from life to death and back to life again. The one man who didn't give in to the vast powers of nature changed the one man standing in front of him. In your lives, there are going to be those right in front of you, their arms thrust up from the stifling sands of oppression, and they will deserve your attention. If you embrace the compassion to ask how you can make their lives better, the way that others today have done for you, you'll discover a world that changes you. If you listen to those other voices, if you really listen, you will understand why Black lives matter. If you really listen, you will see the immigrant in a new way that compels you to search out your own family's story of coming to America and the hardships and the hatreds that they overcame. You'll grasp that LGBT people just want to live with the respect that should be afforded to all persons. Being alert to the one person in front of you will call you to resist the hatred of Muslims, stand up to those who scream blood and soil, and Jews will not replace us on the streets of small towns in America. You will find the courage to stand up for those people, one person at a time. The most radical thing we can do in the world today is realize that a society, a nation, a life is not measured by its wealth and its power and its status. It is measured by the compassion it offers to those who have none of those things. Wealth and power, graduates, won't define your lives either. Your lives will be measured by the one person that stands in front of you at any given time if you stay awake. We heard the Mishnah, the Talmud, say that the person who saves one life saves the entire world. And the vision behind this statement is that we are all in this together. And though I hesitate to use language like saving, this brings me back to Lauren Isley's moment. In the face of impossible odds, of the forces of nature over which he had no control, he saw a stranger throwing stars. And it changed him in a way that his life could not be lived the same way any longer. Out here on the edge of the universe, we seem so small. But to the one person standing in front of you, you are the universe in a moment of time. Amen.